What's going on, guys? I am out for one of my ruck walks, and this is the second or third time trying to see how these Altama Pro-X jungle boots do. So far off-road, they have done marvelously, but I wanted to get a few miles in on some harder terrain just to see what the comfort's like. So not only are we on the asphalt, but we got 20, 45, 50 pounds on our back too. So we shall see how they do. All right, guys, as you can see from that little clip that you just watched, I've been getting some mileage in with these Altama Pro-X jungle boots. We'll do a wrap up here at the end on them, and I'll give you my thoughts and everything. But the one other thing I wanted to do was try them out in water, because they're jungle boots. So that's the primary reason that I've got them. I want to see how they handle water and getting wet, and how well they get the water out. So I finally had a chance to get out here to my training and evaluation area. We're gonna put these on and take a little walk through a nice wet swamp and come out and see how they do. So let me get changed and we'll start walking a little bit. All right, guys, instead of walking out in the swamp's come to me. It's overflowed out on the road because of all the rain we've been having. So I'm already getting ate up by little flying vampires as it is. So instead of going out there and getting really ate up, I think we can do just what we want to right here. So all I got to do is take a walk and get my feet wet. So let's see what they do. Of course, as you can see, that's over my ankles. I'm just now starting to get water leaking in. That's almost over the top of the boots. I don't know if y'all can see that on the camera or not, but I keep pants to get wet. I forgot to bring a spare pair. That cool water sure does feel good on your feet, though. I will say that. I don't know if y'all can see that, but every time I step, it's squirting water out those holes for the drainage. Hope my shadow's not on there too much. Maybe y'all can see it. But anyway, yeah, it's squirting the water straight out those holes. You can actually feel it as it pumps out and drains out. All right, now to go for a little walk on dry ground. Let's see how long it takes for them to dry out. Now, I fully admit, it's probably going to take longer for them to completely dry than what I've got time to do. Nothing's going to dry that fast. But I can already tell in just a little bit that I've been walking that the water is out of the boots. Like, it's not holding water at all. My socks are wet and the inside of the boot's wet, but my foot's not in a bucket of water. And I'll be honest, as I step, every step I take, I can feel little puffs of cool air blowing across my feet. Now, admittedly, normally I would wear really thick wool socks. That's pretty much my preferred year-round sock usage. However, if I knew I was going into a wet area and it wasn't wintertime, I would wear what I've got on right now, which is my Covert Threads jungle socks. So I figured, it's kind of appropriate to have jungle socks with jungle boots. Like I said, normally I'd wear thick wool ones, but if I know I'm going in a wet area and it's not wintertime, I would put these on, just because they're pretty thin and the materials they're made out of dry really quick and help facilitate keeping your foot dry. And the way they fit on your feet, or at least on my feet, they're not rubbing. So like the sock's moving with my foot instead of my foot moving inside the sock, if that makes sense. I don't know if y'all can see, but I didn't splash water on me. It is so humid out here. Man, sauna manufacturers would love to achieve this level of hot moisture in their saunas. This is crazy. But welcome to the southeastern United States in July. So we're going to keep walking. Let me turn you around here and see how they're doing. Again, they're already starting to dry a little bit. You can see where they're wet, you know, still from mosquito in the eye. Sorry about that. Little vampire's trying to bite my eyeball. Yeah, they're starting to dry. Of course, like I said, I'm not going to have time to walk to completely dry them. However, I feel like if I took these socks off and put back on a dry pair of socks and hung these out to dry, and say every couple of hours swap those socks back and forth, I bet you could dry these boots out in 4 or 5 hours of walking if you swap socks every couple of hours and you had good socks that, you know, that dry out pretty quick. Because again, my feet are getting cool right now. I can feel the air flowing through the sock. I'm not getting any hot spots. There's no standing water in the boot, not in the toe, anywhere. The only water that's in them is just what's retained in the material, like the insole and my socks, etc. So, and as I mentioned before, mention again, sometimes it's hard to beat old school, right? The Panama soles on these have got to be one of the best treads for muddy, dirty, wet, nasty, goopy conditions, because they just self-clean so well. The mud and the clay just doesn't stick in them. It clears out really good, so you don't find yourself having slick ice skates on the bottom of your feet where the tread of your boot gets clogged up. You actually maintain traction while you're walking and moving around, which that's a big thing for me. Now, I thought about jumping in here and showing y'all what they do, but I don't think they're going to get any more wet less in there than what they got already. The only thing that's going to get wetter in there would just be me. And that won't prove anything right now. Although, it would feel pretty good to get in there and cool off. Only, I'm not sure what all we've got in there right now. There might be some things that I don't want to get in with. So, I digress. Video for another time. So, we're going to walk back up here and see where we get. Again, boots are doing great. They're doing exactly what I had hoped they would do, exactly what I wanted them to do. They flushed all that water out, and honestly, my feet don't feel all that wet. I mean, I know they're wet, but they feel cool more than they do wet, if that makes sense. When I step, it feels like it does normally with a dry boot, right? Step, it's not going squick, 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 squick with every step. So that tells you that that water's all pushed out. Job done, exactly what I wanted it to do. So, let me walk back to the truck and we'll go from there. You know, if somebody could invent something that deals with mosquitoes as good as these boots deal with water, I'd be a happy camper. Phew, freaking blood-sucking vampires. Alright guys, back at the truck, and just to show you that there's no water in these, we're going to go ahead and take them off, and we'll show you that they are indeed, there's not a drop of water coming out of that boot. Not a drop. Insole's damp, but not bad. I mean, my hand's damp, but see how much water it moved out of the sock. That's it. That's all the water I can get out of that sock. So that tells me it was moving air through there pretty good. It was moving it through pretty good. No water. Same with these. Feet are damp, but that little teeny bit's all I can get out. So I am very happy with that. That makes John very happy. Okay, I'll get back inside and wrap this up and give you some final thoughts where I'm not drenched and being ate. So hang on a minute. All right, now that we're back inside and I can actually get some caffeination, we'll go over a couple of final things. So overall, these have done exactly what I hoped they would do. I think these are excellent boots, especially for exactly what we've talked about, the intended purposes: hot weather use, wet weather use, etc. I love how lightweight these are compared to some other boots. I also love that they keep the upper just a simple layer of Cordura. Too many companies, I think, try to over-engineer their boots, and even their hot weather boots end up being hot because they put tons of padding and extra layers of material and all kind of other things on the upper half of the boot, and it just adds weight and traps heat, which defeats the purpose of what you're trying to do, and it gives more to dry out. Like this Cordura dries really, really fast. There's nothing else to soak up water and go. So I really, 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 really like these. A couple of things I wanted to touch on. Excuse me. So first off, sizing, because I know people are going to ask about that. In the very, very first video, I said that I had gotten an 11.5 in these. I ended up sending those back and exchanging them for an 11. The 11.5s I felt were just a little bit too big on me. The 11s fit and they work great. That said, I think I could probably get away with a 10.5 actually. Now, in comparison, in Rocky boots, I wear an 11. In Danners, Merrills, etc., I wear an 11.5. So I'm going to say that these probably run a half to a full size on the large side. So whereas most of the others I wear an 11.5, I think I can get away to 10.5 in these. I don't know, the 11s kind of, it feels like maybe I could go down to a 10.5, but then again it fits and it works. My foot's not flopping or anything, so I don't know. It's somewhere right in that little sweet spot. So I don't know exactly how to tell you to go on sizing other than expect a half to maybe a full size on the large side compared to those other brands if those are something that you already got size-wise. Negatives. Honestly, guys, the negatives that I can point out with these are going to really just be me finding something to nitpick about, right? Because it's not really an issue. The one big thing, and it's not even a big, I didn't even say it's a big thing, it's not a big thing. The insoles. So the insoles seem like really good quality, but they're a little thin, and they don't offer a whole lot of cushion in the front part. Now the heel gets pretty thick and has got some good cushion to it. I would prefer to see maybe some slightly thicker insoles, but honestly I can understand why they don't, because insoles can be something that is so everybody's got their own flavor, so personally dictated, that a lot of people just change those out with their favorite, brand anyway, right up front. So it's kind of like, why put a whole bunch of money into insoles that people are going to change out? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. These work. Okay, they work. I never had any issues with any discomfort or pain or anything. I could just tell that they weren't as cushiony as, say, some of my other boots. Somebody had asked in one of the comments on one of the previous videos, so these don't have the metal plate running through them that traditional jungle boots have. There is like a stiffener in there, but it's not a metal one. If I had to guess, and I could probably look it up, I just don't have my computer in front of me to look it up. It's probably more like a polycarbonate type plate in there, just to give it some stiffness and protection, but it's not metal. So what that gives you is there's not a whole lot of break-in with these. Little bit, as there is with all boots, but it's not like you just got to wear them miles and miles and miles before you break them in. They break in pretty doggone quick. I didn't do a break-in period on them. Like, I wanted to see what they would do. I literally put them on, loaded up some weight, and just went walking. Like, recipe for disaster. Never had any issues. Again, as I've said in previous parts of not only this video but other videos on these, the Panama sole, if you're in muddy, dirty, clay type areas, Panama soles do what Panama soles have always done. They really resist clogging up, and as you walk, they self-clean really well, and you're not on ice skates with the bottom of your boot just being slick with mud. The water evacuation from them through the vents was awesome. I hope you guys can see that on the video. The airflow through them is awesome. Hot weather combined with how they handle hot weather and vent, how they handle water, the lightweight, the simple construction, the Panama soles, and honestly what I think is a really good price point. I can see myself getting more of these to have as a couple of backup spares. That's really about all I can say, guys. I will keep using these, obviously, and if anything comes up long term, I'll let you know. If they suddenly fall apart and self-disassemble, I don't see that happening though, because all the stitching on them looks really good. There's no frayed edges or missed lines or anything like that, so I don't have any reason to suspect they won't hold up just great. What else? I'm trying to think what else I was going to point out to you about them. There was something and I just forgot it. It was right there on the tip of my tongue. Oh well, I'll probably think of it at midnight tonight while I'm trying to go to sleep. So there you go. I know it's kind of a short and sweet one, but I've got a lot of miles in with these, both on asphalt and concrete and off in the woods. Actually, probably about 2/3 of my miles with them is on asphalt and concrete, which is obviously going to be a lot harder on your feet than softer terrain. And doing ruck walks and stuff with them, again, my feet never felt uncomfortable, fatigued, never got any hot spots, any aches, cramps, nothing. So these are definitely on my my go-to list. Again, these are the Altama Pro-X jungle boots. Not to be confused with Altama's just regular traditional jungle boots. These are the Pro-X ones. I love them. I will definitely be looking at getting not only some more of these, maybe just to have for extras, like I said, but Altama's got a couple other pair that have sparked my interest. I'd like to see how they do. So I'll wrap it up on that, guys. Hopefully that helps somebody. If you got questions, let me know down in the comments. I'll try to answer them as best I can. But anyway, till next time, y'all take care, stay safe. Get out there and train. Put your boots on, go walk. Put your boots on, put a backpack on, go walk. Get some weight. It's good for you. Feels good. Good for the brain, good for the body. You'll love it, promise you. See you guys later.